Want to unlock the secrets of how money really moves in a country? This video is your golden ticket. Get ready to feel that rush as we dive into a topic that affects your wallet, your government, and the world around you. You'll be a macroeconomics tax wizard by the end of this. Let's start our adventure. Introduction. Hello, amazing learners. Today we're going on an exciting journey to understand one of the most powerful tools governments use to shape our economies: taxation and macroeconomics. You might think taxes are just something you pay, but they are so much more. They are like the steering wheel and accelerator for a country's economic car. Understanding them will give you incredible insight into how decisions are made, why your country's economy behaves the way it does, and how policies can change your life. Historically, the concept of taxation has been around for thousands of years. Think about ancient civilizations like Egypt, Rome, and even early tribal communities. These societies needed resources to build pyramids, maintain armies, or provide public services. How did they get these resources? Through various forms of taxes. For example, in ancient Egypt, there were taxes on crops, and in the Roman Empire, citizens paid taxes on land, goods, and even inheritances. These early taxes were often collected to fund warfare, infrastructure, or the ruling class. The methods were sometimes brutal, but the core idea was the same: governments needed revenue. Body. Let's fast forward to more modern times, specifically the birth of modern macroeconomics in the 20th century. Before this, economic thought often focused on microeconomics, which looks at individual markets and decisions. However, the Great Depression of the 1930s showed that something bigger was at play. National economies could suffer massive collapses, and individual market forces weren't enough to explain or fix these problems. This crisis paved the way for John Maynard Keynes, a brilliant British economist, and his revolutionary ideas. Keynesian economics, which emerged in the mid-20th century, emphasized the role of government intervention to stabilize the economy. He argued that during recessions, governments could increase their spending or cut taxes to boost demand and create jobs. This was a radical idea at the time, because many economists believed in a laissez-faire approach, where the government interfered as little as possible. Keynes showed that fiscal policy, which includes taxation and government spending, could be a powerful tool. After World War II, many countries adopted Keynesian policies. Governments started using taxation not just to raise revenue, but also to achieve specific macroeconomic goals. For instance, if inflation was too high, governments might increase taxes to reduce the amount of money people had to spend, thereby cooling down the economy. If unemployment was a problem, they might cut taxes to encourage spending and investment, stimulating economic growth. This period saw a more active and deliberate use of taxes as a macroeconomic instrument. In the 1970s, new economic challenges emerged, like stagflation, a situation where high inflation and high unemployment occurred simultaneously. Keynesian policies seemed less effective against this new problem. This led to the rise of new schools of thought, such as monetarism, led by economists like Milton Friedman. Monetarists argued that controlling the money supply was more important than fiscal policy. However, even monetarists acknowledged that taxation still played a significant role in government revenue and resource allocation. By the 1980s, supply-side economics gained popularity, especially during the Reagan administration in the U.S. and the Thatcher government in the U.K. Supply-side economists believed that high taxes discouraged work, saving, and investment. They argued that cutting taxes, especially on corporations and high-income earners, would incentivize production and lead to economic growth. The idea was that lower taxes would boost the supply side of the economy, meaning businesses would produce more, which would eventually benefit everyone through job creation and increased wealth. This was a significant shift in thinking about the primary effect of taxation. Moving into the 21st century, the approach to taxation in macroeconomics has become even more complex and nuanced. Economists and policymakers now consider a wider range of factors. For example, behavioral economics has shown that people don't always act rationally, and tax policies can significantly influence their behavior. Also, globalization has made it harder for individual countries to implement tax policies without considering international implications. such as capital flight or tax havens. Today, governments use various types of taxes to achieve their goals. Income tax, corporate tax, sales tax, property tax, and value-added tax VAT are some common examples. Each type of tax has different effects on income distribution, consumption, and investment. Progressive tax systems, where higher earners pay a larger percentage of their income in taxes, are often used to reduce income inequality. Regressive taxes, which disproportionately affect lower-income individuals, can sometimes lead to greater inequality, but might be simpler to collect. Furthermore, environmental taxes, or green taxes, have emerged as a way to address climate change and pollution. These taxes are levied on activities that harm the environment, like carbon emissions, to incentivize businesses and individuals to adopt more sustainable practices. This shows how taxation is evolving to address new global challenges. Conclusion. So, as you can see, the story of taxation in macroeconomics is a long and evolving one, filled with different theories, challenges, and solutions. From ancient crop levies to modern carbon taxes, governments have always used taxation as a fundamental tool. It's not just about collecting money, it's about shaping economies, influencing behavior, and pursuing national goals like stability, growth, and equality. When you understand taxation, you understand a huge part of how societies function and how economic policies impact our daily lives. Now, you're not just a passive taxpayer, but an informed citizen who understands the intricate dance of economics. Keep learning and stay curious about the world around you. Until next time, keep those economic gears turning. Important English vocabulary and their Korean meanings. Unlock 잠금 해제하다 밝히다. Secrets 비밀. Macroeconomics 거시경제학. Taxation 조세 세금 부과. Wallet 지갑. Government 정부. Inside 통찰력. Policies 정책. Historically 역사적으로. Civilizations 문명. Resources 자원. Pyramids 피라미드. Maintain 유지하다. Armies 군대. Public services 공공 서비스. Revenue 수입 save. Warfare 전쟁. Infrastructure 사회 기반 시설. Ruling class 지배 계급. Microeconomics 미시경제학. Great Depression 대공황. Collapse 번거. Intervention 개입. Stabilize 안정화하다. Recessions 경기 침체. Boost 밀어올리다 증대시키다. Demand 수요. Radical 급진적인 근본적인 laissez-faire 자유방임주의. Fiscal policy 재정 정책. Instrument 도구 수단. Inflation 물가 상승. Unemployment 슬럽. Stimulating 자극하는 활성화하는. Stagflation stagflation 경기 침체 중 물가 상승. Monetarism 통화주의. Money supply 통화 공급량. Resource allocation 자원 배분. Supply side economics 공급 측면 경제학. Discourage 낙담한 이욕을 잃은. Incentive에 동기를 부여하다 장려하다. Production 생산. Nuanced 미묘한 차이가 있는. Behavioral economics 행동 경제학. Rationally 합리적으로. Globalization 세계화. Capital flight 자본 도피. Tax havens jose financiero. Income tax 소득세. Corporate tax 배업인세. Sales tax 판매세. Property tax 재산세. Value-added tax VAT 버거가사이스. Progressive tax systems 누진세 제도. Income inequality 소득 불평등. Regressive taxes 역진세. Disproportionately 불균형적으로. Environmental taxes 환경세. Carbon emissions 탄소 배출. Sustainable practices 지속 가능한 관행. Fundamental 근본적인. Stability 안정성. Growth 성장. Equality 평등. Passive taxpayer 수동적인 납세자. Informed citizen 정보의 밝은 시민. Intricate dance 복잡한 춤 복잡한 상호작용.